Hi, my name is Becca Ross, and welcome to my Draw My Life. I decided to make this because I have a story to share. I feel that it's something everyone should know. I live in Shawnigan Lake, BC with my mom and my dad. I'm 16 years old, and I love the internet. I've never been very social, even as a kid. I've struggled with social anxiety, and people at school don't really pay any attention to me. A few years ago, I started turning to my computer for comfort and recognition, starting with a small account on Instagram and occasionally browsing chat roulette. My parents didn't like how much time I was spending online, but they spent too much time yelling at each other to really notice. Being online was never a problem. I went on to feel better and connect, and it worked for a while. Then it became a problem. It started on a Saturday night. Everyone else from my school was off at some party in Duncan, and I decided to spend the night like every other night, on my computer, trolling through different sites, hoping I came across something interesting. And I did. He was cute and looked about my age, so I was taken aback by the fact that he direct messaged me on Instagram saying, "Hey, just saw your account and you're gorgeous." Scared me a little bit at first, wondering how he found me and why he even thought I was pretty enough to talk to, but I brushed it off, thinking it would be a 5-minute conversation just like everyone else I met online. But it turned out to be different. We talked all night, sharing secrets and laughing and getting to know each other. He was the sweetest guy I'd ever met, and it was the first time I'd never been nervous talking to a guy. But he was the nicest, always giving me compliments and sending me internet stickers and videos to show his love. We continued our friendship over the computer, quickly switching over from Instagram to Kik and adding each other on Facebook and Snapchat. Everything seemed completely fine. Then I started noticing little changes. See, talking to him made me feel more comfortable socializing, and eventually I actually made some friends at school. But when I'd get back, he'd be clingy. He'd ask me where I was and who I was with, asking for details and even asking why I didn't tell him. It would worry me, but then he'd go back to being normal again, laughing off the situation. I became a bit cautious, but I still kept our friendship. Everything was alright for a while after that. He explained that he's the jealous type, which I didn't really understand, but I told him I did, and moved on. Then he became scary. We would start talking normally, and he would get randomly rude, harsh even, and just as quickly as it started, it would stop, and he was happy again. I started becoming more and more social, putting myself out there more, and actually meeting people my age. I'd come home excited to tell him of my day and how I was feeling, thinking he would be happy for me. But as soon as I got online, I saw that he had sent me over 150 messages, starting with "Hi," and ending with "I can't believe you hate me, why are you ignoring me?" Took me by surprise, quickly writing back something along the lines of, "I'm sorry, I was out." I didn't realize it would turn out to be a problem, or I probably would have thought out my answer more carefully. He didn't reply after that, and I didn't get any messages for weeks. In a way, I was glad. The back of my mind was telling me that I shouldn't have kept talking to him anyways, but I noticed myself missing him more and more, catching myself thinking about him more than I'd like to admit. After a while, I got up the guts to message him again. I was really nervous as to what he'd say, practically shaking in my seat as I saw the typing symbol pop up on the screen. Then it showed up. "Hey, I missed you." I felt like my heart was gonna burst. I could not believe that he missed me. I wondered for 1 second as to why he didn't message me first, but his name popped up again, saying that he was sorry, and I became completely blind. I was hoping that things would go back to normal, and to my surprise, it looked like it had, at least for a little bit. That night I did not expect anything different. But when he sent that unusual message, I knew there was something wrong. He said something along the lines of "hi," but then he added inappropriate words to it, and then asked me to send him pictures. I swiftly refused, knowing not to get involved in that kind of stuff, and he responded with a harsh message, calling me things like prude and several curse words, throwing insults. Telling me he hated me to telling me to die or that he would die, and everything in between is what I got that night. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I didn't know what was happening or why he would do this. I really felt like we had a connection, and I couldn't believe that he would do this. He kept constantly telling me that he knew where I lived and that he was gonna come for me. I'd never been more scared in my life, closing my laptop hoping it would stop, but my phone started to buzz, more and more threats popping up. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to tell anyone because I was worried that they would judge me and my parents would take away my laptop if they knew I was talking to strangers on the internet. I switched off my phone, but that didn't last long, when I couldn't resist going online. I knew, even at the time, that it wasn't safe for me to be on, but I couldn't stop myself, thinking it would be better. It only got worse. I was constantly texted 24/7 by this guy, death threats and insults and hate. I could barely focus on anything, school or friends. I'd never been so scared in my life. I didn't know what to do about it, still avoiding talking about it to my parents. They started becoming suspicious, constantly asking if I was okay and if things with my friends were all right. If school was all right, I only responded with a small yes and trudged off to my room. Took me 2 weeks to tell them what was going on. After I told them, they immediately took me to the police, and my story hasn't ended. Not yet. I thought I'd share this story, my story, to keep kids like me safe. Slowly but surely, my life is getting back on track, and until it's officially over, my family and friends are willing to stand by me until the end. My name is Becca Ross, and this was my Draw My Life.